All right, everybody, welcome to a very special Affiliate Summit webinar. My name is Jim Kukrell, and I'm the Affiliate Summit Ambassador. As you may or may not know, I am heavily involved in promoting the show, and I really love the show as I've been to every single one of them. And I'm here to help you learn more about the show, but more importantly today, I'm here to help you learn more about things you need to know about, like link building, and how are you going to get links that are going to help you generate more results for you in search? How are you going to get links that are going to help you get higher Google rankings? All of those major important things. And make no doubt about it, those are really important things, as we all know. And that's why we're doing this webinar today. So what we're going to do right now, though, is I'm going to go through a couple of quick announcements. Then I'm going to introduce Chad. And Chad's going to take it away and teach you all the link building secrets that we promised you today. So the first thing I want to tell you about is we have a really good discount going on for the Affiliate Summit event that's happening in New York City in August at the Hilton Hotel on the Avenue of the Americas. And you can get a 10% discount today if you use this coupon code, which is ASC11Web1. So if you just go to affiliatesummit.com and use ASC11Web1, get 10% off coming to the show. Now, I must tell you that this is a fun event. August in New York City can be a little bit warm, but look, we're inside most of the time. It's a great event. It's been there the last 2 years. There will be almost 5,000 people at this show. Who knows? They may even get over 5,000 this time. And you want to be here for this show. I would love for you to come out, meet me, meet Chad, meet Sean and Missy, come see the show and learn a lot of stuff. So there's that coupon code. I hope you can use it. I hope you can make it out because it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of great information. There is a contest that we're running right now. I don't know if you know that Affiliate Summit owns a magazine, and it's called feedfront.com. And it goes out to over 40,000 people. I'm talking about a printed magazine. In the days when everybody's stopping to do print, well, Affiliate Summit has a printed magazine that goes out to over 40,000 people. And it gets sent out 4 times a year. And there's a copy of the magazine there. You can see some people holding a copy. One guy there is taking a picture of it with him in the shower. Well, what we're doing is a contest. Now, how would you like to see a picture like this of you on the cover of that August edition of FeedFront? All you have to do is go to ilovefeedfront.com, which redirects to the FeedFront contest page, and submit a photo of you holding a copy of FeedFront. Now, think about how amazing this could be for you. You could get your whole staff to hold it underneath your company sign. You could do some kind of creative shot like this guy did in the shower. You'll be on the cover. It's not going to be edited. The winning vote, the one that gets the most votes, will actually be on the cover. So go to ilovefeedfront.com and check this out. And I'm telling you right now, there's not a lot of votes yet, and we've got about 2 months to go till this contest ends. So I would get in, do one now. A company did one really cool the other day. They took the feed front and they made like a big giant version of it and held it out, and it looks like they were all holding it up underneath their sign and their thing. So visit ilovefeedfront.com and get your vote, get your photo in, or just go vote. And if you don't have a copy of FeedFront magazine, just go to feedfront.com. The magazine's free. You can download the magazine and read it online, or you can just sign up and they'll send you copies of it for free. We do meetups here at Affiliate Summit. They happen on the last Tuesday of every month. May 2011 will be the 3rd time we do the meetups. So if you want to get involved in meetups, which are a lot of fun as well, they happen every single month. Go to affiliatesummit.com/meetups, and you can learn about where the next meetup is in your city or country. I had someone contact me this morning who wants to start a meetup in Berlin. There's people in London, all over the United States. They're really fun events where you can get together with like-minded people, and it's not just affiliate marketing. It's about internet marketing, business, building businesses online, help your career, anything that you're looking to do. Learn, connect with types of people in a fun environment once a month, and it's growing really fast. If you want to host a meetup in your city, all you got to do is send me an email, jim@affiliatesummit.com, and I'd be happy to coach you through it, help you get one set up. It's not a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of benefits for you to do it. So if you have a city and you want to host one, just give me an email. Again, affiliatesummit.com/meetups. I do want to tell you about this real quick. Now, I have a great package going on at Affiliate Summit or feedfront.com/advertising. If you have any type of budget that you want to get major exposure to the people who you want to reach, I've got a great deal going on right now, and it's over $12,000 worth of stuff for $6,000. Okay, and right now you're saying, Jim, $6,000, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is, but I want you to consider what you get. All right, full page ad in FeedFront magazine for the show issue that goes out to over 40,000 people, as well as gets in the attendee bag of all the over 4,500 people at the show. Okay, full page ad. That ad itself is just $4,000 itself. All right, what else would you like? How about 2 gold passes to the show in New York this summer? Right, you get 2 gold passes to the show. How about banner ads run on Affiliate Summit, feedfront.com, geekcast.com.fm, on the Affiliate Summit forum? How about an interview with me and you or your CEO or your program manager where I interview you via audio? We make a professional interview podcast talking about your company, your affiliate program, whatever it is you want to talk about. And here's the really cool part about this. Not only will we do the interview and we'll talk about your business, it'll essentially be a 30-minute commercial for your business. But what we're going to do is we're going to take that audio interview and we're going to promote it across all the Affiliate Summit channels. And we're going to put it up on our social media, on our blogs, on our websites, and we're going to let people listen to it back. We're also going to send you an MP3 of it so you could use it on your blog, you could send it out to your customers, whatever you want to do. But here's the really cool thing you're going to get. Since we're talking about link building, and Chad, maybe you'll appreciate this, we're going to give you a link from the affiliatesummit.com website to your website. And that's part, and as you're going to find out from Chad, getting links from high quality, relatable websites is a big deal. So you're actually going to get a link as part of this whole package. If you're interested in this package at all, I want you to give me a call. It's jim@affiliatesummit.com, and drop me an email. I'd be happy to get on the phone with you and explain all of the parts you get with this. I should tell you this right now. The deadline on this price goes away very soon here in May. If you're watching this after, you're going to probably get a different price and a different package. I only have a few of these left. I wasn't able to sell as many as they wanted, because it's too good of a deal, okay? So email me, jim@affiliatesummit.com, or send it to the person in charge of your company who does the ad buying or anything like that. And I'd love to get you on board with this because you're going to get that link, you're going to get the webinar, not the webinar, you're going to get the link, you're going to get the gold passes, you're going to get the banner ads, you're going to get the full page ad and feed front. It's an amazing deal, it really is. All right, so reminder, 10% discount. Somebody asked in the chat already, can I get a discount for Vegas and ASW? That would be 12. No, I don't have a coupon for ASW 12 yet. So I will get one of those when it comes after ASE 11. All right, and somebody says I love FeedFront is down. Sorry, I'll check on that. It's just a forward to the contest site. So, all right, let's get straight forward to the material that you came to see. If you do want to tweet out that you're in here today, just go to AFSUM webinar, and you can go to tweet out at Affiliate Summit and at CPolitiIU. I always say that wrong. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to give Chad, I'm going to give him access to this whole thing so that he can come in, show you his slides. And while he's getting ready to do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chad. Now, Chad, do you have control there?
Jim, I have control.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about Chad because, Chad I've known for a while now, and he's the director of social media search at a company called Kuno Creative. And I met with Chad a while back because he had expertise about a lot of stuff that I really needed to know more information on. And we got to talking. He had since moved into the Northeast Ohio area. We've met a couple times. Found him to be a really great guy and really intelligent guy in this business. At the company he works with, he's really killing it, doing a fantastic job managing lots and lots of clients. And I said, we got to get this guy on because he knows what the heck he's talking about. And when I put out the call out for search stuff and for link building, he was one of the first people I thought of. So Chad, it is my pleasure to have you here. Affiliate Summit thanks you so much, and we're going to get to it right now. Everybody, please welcome Chad.
Well, Jim, thank you very much for that great introduction. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure to be here helping out all the affiliates and the people on this webinar today. We get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that's SEO and link building. Just real quick, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a certified HubSpot partner, and I went through the Internet Marketing Master's Program through the University of San Francisco. I used to work with Facebook TabSite. TabSite is a really cool custom landing page app for Facebook. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. It's pretty cool. And I also have over $10 million of tracked ROI for SEO. So I've been in the space for a while. I've had some pretty good success, and today I'd like to share that with you. Excuse me. So as Jim said, I am currently the Director of Social Media and Search Marketing for Kuno Creative. And at Kuno Creative, what we do here is, well, we're an inbound marketing agency. And we work with, we don't do much on the affiliate side, but we work with a lot of companies to do their inbound marketing. We're also a certified HubSpot partner, and you can read on the Kuno Creative blog a lot of my articles. That's where I publish most of my stuff when I'm not guest blogging. So anything that involves social media or search or inbound marketing in general, you can find it on our blog. I recommend that you check it out. Also, I want to let you know that I've authored several cheat sheets for social media, search engine optimization, so on and so forth, and those can be downloaded at the Kuno Creative Facebook page. So check those out if you get a chance. And with that, I'm going to dive right in to today's agenda. The first thing I want to talk to you about is what we call class. Now, this is the fundamental construct of a search engine optimization campaign, and I'll go through that acronym. Then we're going to go right into real link building tips. I'm going to give you 13 actionable things that you can do today to help your link building. And then I'm going to discuss with you a concept called social media infrastructure. I'm going to explain what it is and how to build a social media infrastructure and what those benefits are going to be for you having a social media infrastructure. And then we're going to roll right into a Q&A. So the first thing I want to share with you, for you Glenn Ross fans out there or Alec Baldwin fans, it's not ABC, always be closing. It's ABO, always be optimizing. Every piece of content that you produce for the internet, always be optimizing. You always need to have in the back of your mind a primary, secondary, tertiary keyword phrase that is relevant and important to your business, whatever that may be. So you always want to identify those, and you always want to have them tucked in your back pocket to pull out and shove in your content. Always be optimizing. So what is class? Class is these steps that you need to have a successful SEO campaign. And I'm actually going to add one thing to it after I explain this. The first is content. The saying, content is king, I know you've heard it. Everybody says it. But the thing is, hardly anyone does it. You cannot be successful in SEO just building links. Yes, it's a major, major part of SEO, but you have to have good, sound, quality content. Not only that, but you need to have a publishing frequency better than your competitors. Your content, well, I'll put it to you this way. Here at Kuno, we publish content an average of 2 to 3 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes 5, 6 times in a day. Whether that content is a blog post, whether it's a piece of advanced content, a new landing page, whatever that is, content is king. You always want to develop content and push it out on a regular basis. Now, if you are successful at that, your link building campaign is going to be a lot easier. And the reason it's going to be easier is because with all that fresh content out there, you're going to be building links naturally, which is great. When your links are doubling and tripling naturally, plus the work that you put in building links, that's just going to make your efforts that much more successful. And then, of course, after links, your site architecture matters. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of that today, but that's something you want to consider is your site architecture. Try to keep it as flat as possible. So instead of going 4, 5, 6 layers deep on a website, if you can keep everything 2 layers, 3 layers at most, you'll be setting yourself up for success. And then, of course, social media, and we'll dig into that today as well. And then strategy. You have to have a strategy in place for all those things. Now, I had mentioned to you that there's something else I wanted to add to this list that's not on here, and that's the letter M. And the letter M stands for mentor. Everyone in this business that's successful has a mentor. And in search, I have a mentor. His name is Jeremy Derringer. He's the chief research officer at Slingshot SEO. I can call him up. I can send him a tweet, and he answers questions. We've gone games together. We've drank beer together. He's a great guy. But he eats, sleeps, and breathes SEO 7 days a week. That's something that I can't do because I have other responsibilities in my role. So I leverage what he does. And he accepts that role as my mentor, and he helps me out. So I highly recommend that pursuing an SEO campaign, that when you're pursuing your SEO campaign, that you seek out a mentor that really knows their stuff and learn as much as you can from that mentor. Well, that brings us right into the major part of the presentation, which is links. So here I have a list of 13 ways that you can build links for your website and for your programs. And I'm going to go into each one and share with you some actionable things that you can do to build links. So the first item here is guest blog posts. Now, the first bullet says invite bloggers to guest post, and many people say, well, how does that build backlinks if I have a guest blogger come and blog on my blog? Well, there's 2 reasons. The first is that if someone blogs on your blog, they're going to promote it. They're probably going to link to that content somewhere on their website, and then they're going to promote it in social media. And that viral effect takes place in social media. So by having other people write content and produce content on your website, you will naturally build backlinks because they have a vested interest in promoting their content. It just resides on your website. Now, the other tip, and this is commonly known in our business, but if you do guest posts for other blogs, it is your right to put in a link or two, as long as it's relevant to the content that you're writing. So always seek out and never turn down an opportunity to guest post. I know it gets hard, especially when you're producing lots of good, fresh, quality content to guest post, but I always try to make time myself to do it because it's so valuable. So the next link building tip I want to talk about is press releases. I'm a press release junkie. Something to keep in mind with press releases, Google actually has a separate algorithm for press releases. Google recognizes that press releases are news, and it handles them a little bit differently. So what press release websites are out there? Well, one that I like is a free one. It's called prlog.org, and I use that one regularly. And then there's two paid wires that are pretty popular, marketwire.com and pitchengine.com. Now, this actually is a webinar unto itself, press releases. But I want to share one cool thing about press releases with you. What most people don't realize is that there are tens of thousands of Twitter accounts that auto-post from these press release sites. They subscribe directly to their RSS feeds based on whatever you tag your post as. Say you tag your post as affiliate marketing. And if somebody subscribes to the affiliate marketing tag on prlog.org, their Twitter account will automatically post your release. And what I found is, I've done some experimenting, what I found is that I can actually get over 200 Twitter accounts talking about my release, which of course links to my website in the body copy. So we're creating that social media chatter using press releases. It's a great way to help your search engine rankings and for Google to see those search signal or those social signals that are so important for ranking today. That brings me right into local directory listings. And what I mean by local directory listings, of course, you've got your Google Local or Google Maps, and Bing has their version, Yahoo has their version. These are very, very important for search because they establish that you are a legitimate company or organization. So what you want to do is you want to tie an address to these local directory listings and of course your URL, your website. Even if you're running a small program out of your parents' basement, you want to make sure that you have an address, a brick and mortar address, not a P.O. box, a real address associated with your local directory listing. The reason you do that is because that's a signal to Google and the other search engines that you are indeed a legitimate business worthy of ranking in the search engines. Now, another neat thing to do, and recently I came across localese.com. Actually, I've known about them for years, but I didn't know the breadth of their offerings until recently. What localese.com is, it's a website that compiles directory listings. So it compiles brick and mortar address locations and business names and websites. And they have over 200 partners that subscribe to their list. So, for example, Google subscribes. Google pays localese.com for access to this data. Foursquare does. Facebook does. And on and on and on. All the big websites subscribe to the localese data. And why this is important is because in the case of Google, Google uses that data to check its data. So if you have a listing on Google and you have one on localese, Google's going to check the localese data and verify that they're the same. If they're the same, then you're going to have a much more powerful backlink, and you're going to have a much more powerful listing in that directory. Social media. Do you have a company profile on LinkedIn? That's a very powerful signal to Google that you are indeed a legitimate business. Even if you work out of your parents' basement, have a LinkedIn profile for your company. And then if you have a large company with lots of employees, make sure that their LinkedIn accounts point or link to the company profile so that they're using the same company name in their LinkedIn account as the one for the company profile. That shows that builds a lot of confidence to Google that your business is indeed legitimate and real. And those are all links that Google sees. So make sure you're on LinkedIn. Now, that goes the same with all the other social media platforms that exist out there. And a good way to get a big list of those is to go to namecheck.com and type in a company name, and it will give you a big list of social media sites that may or may not have that company associated with it. You can actually pay them a small fee, and they'll set up all your accounts as well. So now let's talk quickly about partnerships. To strategically partner with companies that are similar to yours and share links and content. A good example of this is, for example, the company I work for, Kuno. We're a certified HubSpot partner. So HubSpot has a lot of links and a lot of our content on their web properties that all link back to us. And we reciprocate and do the same thing. We have content that links over to HubSpot. So it's a great relationship from a linking perspective because we're able to work with each other with links. Now, your clients or your vendors, if it's prudent, just ask your clients. Ask them for a link. There's nothing wrong with that. People do it all the time. And here's a little trick that I found to work really well for your vendors. Just ask your vendor if you can write them a cool testimonial. The only catch is you're putting a link in it. And that link is going to have the anchor text that you want that's relevant to your website and link it back to your website. Not many vendors are going to turn that down. Now, real simple syndication, or RSS. A lot of people don't know about this little tip, this little tactic, but RSS can be a powerful way to build links. And let me explain how this works. There's a website called peoplepond.com that I have a profile on, okay? Now on this website, I can tag my profile with, I believe, up to 8 or 10 tags, okay? So I put things like SEO and blogs and internet marketing, things like that. Now, each one of these tags represents a unique RSS feed that someone can subscribe to. Ultimately, what they mean, or what they are unique pages in PeoplePond with my content on it. So the more tags I have on PeoplePond, the more pages have my link or my content with a link in it on. So, and if you look in your Google Webmaster Tools, you'll see some of this. This is actually how I discovered this. But that's only half of it. The other half is this. There are lots of Twitter accounts and blogs and other web properties out there that like to subscribe to RSS feeds to publish content. So they syndicate content through RSS. Now, the more tags you have on your content out there on the web, the more RSS feeds there's going to be, and the likelihood of you being syndicated increases. And if your link is in that content, then you've just built links on other people's websites because they've syndicated your content throughout the internet. Now, this next tip is for communities, blogs, and forums. There is a conversation going on out there. Whether or not you decide to join that conversation is up to you, but the conversation's happening. So I recommend jumping in and joining the conversation. These are great social signals for search engines. And if it's relevant for you to leave a link back to your content because it's relevant to the conversation, or you're solving someone's problem with your content, with your link, by all means, leave the link. Now, there's a thin line between spamming and being, leaving legitimate content. You need to make sure you're not crossing that line. And the community itself, whether it's a blog or a forum, they're going to let you know. If you cross that line, they will be on you, and on you quick. A good example of that is the LinkedIn groups. I'm a member of dozens of groups, and occasionally I'll leave something that I think is just fine, and the people in that group may not think it's fine, and they'll hit me up pretty hard on it. So you just got to be careful and make sure you're adding value in these communities, and you're creating social signals back to your website. Some of you have probably heard about article sharing from sites like ezinearticles.com. This is basically where you write an article and you publish the article on this website for other people to purchase, download, or use your content on their websites, on their web properties. This is a great way to build backlinks, because your links and your content are going to be there, and who knows, 50 people may buy that article, 50 people may publish it, and if that's the case, then you just earned 50 backlinks. Now, national directories, these are a little bit different than local directories. Some of the more well-known ones are the Yahoo directory and the Deemas directory, or the Open Directory project. Now, that's a free one. Deemas.org is free, and we could actually have an hour-long conversation on Deemas. They may or may not accept your submission. If you submit your website to Deemas, they have the right to refuse it if they want. In fact, they may never get to it, but if you're lucky, they'll get to it right away, and they'll publish your directory listing. And if you're one of the lucky ones and you get published in Deemas, it's a very, very powerful link back to your website that both Google and Bing use as part of their ranking algorithm. That's a powerful link if you can get it. And then, of course, the Yahoo directory, that's a paid listing. Now, I've heard rumblings that this was going away, that Yahoo was getting rid of their directory. I checked the other day, and it's still up. I know that they charge $400 a year to be a part of that directory, and if you have the budget, I recommend that you use the Yahoo directory as well. You also want to ask yourself, what groups am I associated with? You know, the Chamber of Commerce, some national organization, somewhere where you pay dues. Ask them if you can be in their directory, or if they have a directory. And if they don't have a directory, ask them for a link to your website. It's a good way to get a link. This one is an underutilized strategy: badges, widgets, and plugins. There are plenty of opportunities out there for companies and organizations to create things on the internet and give them away for people to show on their websites. So picture this: you create a logo. Well, we'll use the Better Business Bureau as an example. The Better Business Bureau has a widget or a badge that you can download off their website, and it's in the form of script. Now, if you copy that script and paste it on your website, there's actually a link in there back to the Better Business Bureau. So if you can create some type of plugin or widget and offer that up on the internet, and people use it, they scrape it and they put it on their website, that can be hundreds, if not thousands, of links for you if your badge or widget provides some type of value. Another thing that you can do is widgetbox.com is sort of like a widget building social media platform. So you have groups of people on widgetbox.com that create these neat little widgets, and they share them with each other, and they offer them up on websites. Well, you can create one on Widgetbox too. And if anybody uses your widget, if you create it with a link to your website, you've just created potentially hundreds, if not thousands, of links. So this is a very good way to build links to your website. Product reviews and interviews. This is pretty underutilized too. There's nothing wrong with giving away a free product to a blogger in exchange for a review, or a service for that matter. Try it. You'll find people love free stuff, and for a link, it's worth it, definitely. And then, of course, you can ask bloggers to interview you. There's several out there that are always looking for good content, And if you offer an interview, I'm sure they'll take advantage of it. Presentations and webinars. So what we're doing right now. Make sure that you submit your slide deck to slideshare.net, because those links in your presentation and those links on that account all should point back to your website, and those links are seen and used. And then, of course, you have the live tweet stream, blogcast, and people write blog reviews. These are great ways to get backlinks and leverage your presentations and your webinars. So that brings me right into social media. And I see we're getting low on time, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit. But what I want to talk to you about is what I call a social media infrastructure. Now, we all know about brand mentions on Twitter and profiles on Facebook, statuses on LinkedIn. Then, of course, you've got your bookmarking sites, YouTube. These are all signals that Google can see. These are social signals that matter when they're surrounding your brand. They matter for search, okay? Now, I put Google plus one with a question mark there. I'm just going to quickly mention Google plus one. If you've seen Google's recent history in attempting to enter the space of social media, you know that they haven't done a very good job of it. In fact, they've failed miserably. But this is their attempt of creating a Facebook like button. And we'll see where it goes. It may or may not end up being a player. I'm pretty skeptical at this point, but we'll see. So what is a social media infrastructure? Well, social media, by its very nature, if you get down to the guts of social media and what it is, it's a content distribution channel. It's for distributing content. It's like a road. It's like an infrastructure, okay? So what you want to do is take all your social media platforms out there, all these social media properties, and connect them to each other, because your content is going to be talking about your keywords and your business, whatever it is you do. And on all of these social media platforms, with the content being shared between them, the same content, the same keywords are going to be discussed. So essentially what you're doing is creating a keyword neighborhood where all of these social media platforms are connected to each other, talking about the same stuff, the same keywords. And as a result, it's going to raise all of your web properties up in the search engines, to include your website. Now, the first thing I need to say is that blogging is the push foundation of the infrastructure. So you're going to syndicate content via your blog. Now, there's other ways to do it, but in this example, we're going to talk about the blog. So it would work like this. You publish something on your blog. It gets fed to YouTube. It also auto-posts to Twitter, Facebook, and FriendFeed. Now, you can do this manually too. It doesn't have to be auto-posted. But the point is the content is shared. Excuse me. And of course, it can go to LinkedIn, and I even threw MySpace in this example of an infrastructure. But remember, social media infrastructures are almost limitless on how you build them, because there's so much out there. So once you start to push content out to these platforms, you want to make sure that you pull content into your infrastructure as well. And one of the examples I have here is SlideShare. I can post this deck on SlideShare. I can scrape the code and then drop that content on my blog. And I'll have this slide deck on my blog. Now, what I've just done is created a connection between my SlideShare account and my blog. But because I published a blog post, that content is going to be syndicated over to YouTube, FriendFeed, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and MySpace. So you can see how this content flows through your infrastructure by something as simple as grabbing some code off of SlideShare and dropping it on your blog. And of course, I've got Flickr and PhotoBucket as examples as well. And here we have Pitch Engine, which is a press release site. So the key to this is you want to pull your conversion platforms back into your infrastructure. So those platforms that convert people into leads or customers. Okay, and in this example, I have microsites, landing pages, and websites all linking within this infrastructure. So you want to make sure there's some type of real viable link between everything in your infrastructure. And I even have an example of tying eBay in. I figured out that through Flickr you can create a slideshow and put it in eBay, thus pulling eBay into your infrastructure. Some real quick considerations, ways that you can link these platforms: widgets, apps, and embeds. Very easy to do. A lot of websites allow you, they give you the ability to build these widgets and scrape the code and drop them somewhere else. So definitely consider using those. And as we have audio there. Another consideration, something to think about, sites like twitterfeed.com or HubSpot, they have feed aggregation and feed distribution. So some of this you can auto post, for example, to Twitter or maybe Facebook, and there's dozens of these out there. Just do some searches on Google, you'll find them. But this might help you build that infrastructure and connect your content across all these different channels. And something like FriendFeed, for example, I don't ever get on FriendFeed, but I have lots of content that goes there. So this is a good way to save you time as well. Now, for you naysayers out there, yes, a lot of these social media platforms that we're talking about are Nofollow links in the code. You can see it here. However, that's not a problem when you use RSS, because there's no such thing as a nofollow tag inside an RSS feed. There's not. And Google sees RSS feeds just like it would be a normal backlink. So that's why real simple syndication is so powerful in building links. Also, for you naysayers out there, duplicate content. I hear this all the time. Well, Google says that duplicate content on a site is not grounds for action on that site unless it appears that the intent of the duplicate content is to be deceptive and manipulative. Okay? So, look, Google expects you to push your content out on social media. They expect your blog post to be duplicated all over the place. It's normal. It happens. It's what we do. So don't be concerned about your content being shared across your social media infrastructure. And Matt Cutts himself says that he finds honest webmasters, they worry about dupe content too much. So don't worry so much about duplicate content as it relates to social media. Now, I wanted to show you this slide real quick to let you know that my experiments utilizing the social media infrastructure approach culminate in me being able to get 2 of my web properties listed on the first page of Google for Internet Marketing Expert. This is a highly competitive keyword phrase, and this was an experiment. I rolled it out about 1.5 years ago, and one thing that you can't see here is that all of these web properties here and below have a ton more backlinks than me. But what they don't have is a social media infrastructure behind them. And that's what I did with these particular web properties to get them to rank so high. So if you go and look at the backlinks on these, you'll be surprised at how little backlinks those particular properties have compared to the others. So quickly to recap, class, content, links, architecture, social media, and strategy. And then don't forget the M for mentor. Make sure you get a mentor. Very, very important to have someone to turn to for search. We talked about 13 actionable link building tips, and I discussed with you the idea and the concept of a social media infrastructure, what it is, what it can do for you, and how to build one. So at this point, Jim, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, and I'll answer any questions anyone has.
All right. Thank you, Chad. That was really great, succinct information. I think that everyone appreciates getting tips and tricks, and that's why we brought you on to specifically get into the meat of what people need to know. And I got to tell you, there was some stuff in there that I learned about that I didn't know about, and I've been doing this a long time. So you should definitely take the advice that Chad has given here and follow through with it. Because remember, it's only good if you follow through, right, Chad?
Yeah, exactly, Jim. And content, I can't say it enough. That's the key to all your woes for search. Content, lots of it.
So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get the questions, and we're going to have Chad answer them. So first question, Chad, at what point of a website's life is it ready to submit to the Deemas.org? How built out should it be?
Well, according to Deemas themselves, they don't put their standards for submission don't include any of that, anything about the size of the site, or they have some content requirements. You know, they're not going to let certain types of websites, like adult websites, show up. So I don't think that's so much of a big deal. Once you have your core website built, submit it to Deemas. Make sure you follow their rules. You may or may not get picked up, but if you don't get picked up, you can submit again. Just make sure they've told you why you didn't get picked up. They'll send you an email.
Okay. Next question is from Mark. He says, what is the line between content and content spam?
That's a great question. Here's the thing. Your content has to solve problems or entertain people. I got that line from you, Jim, years ago. It has to solve problems or it has to entertain. If your content doesn't do those things and do them well, your content is spam. It's junk. Nobody would be interested. So make sure that you have quality content that educates or entertains, and be consistent with your quality content. Now, according to HubSpot's research, a blog, for example, if you have a blog and you're not blogging minimum 3 times a week, to the search engines, you're pretty invisible, for one. And to your readers, that 3 blog posts a week is the bare minimum. If you do 1 a week or 1 a month, I hope you don't do that, then your content's irrelevant. Now, HubSpot did a lot of number crunching and figured out that you reach the peak benefits for search and content marketing at 21 blog posts a week. 21. That's 3 a day. Now, most organizations can't hit that level internally, but there's tricks to that. So you can invite tons of people to guest blog. I know a guy in business that rarely posts blogs. He brings in a ton of guest bloggers, and he has content every day by doing it that way.
Okay. I got a question here from Vinay, which is how to manage a big site search engine optimization. We need to rank for 1,000 to 1,500 keywords. You have any advice for Vinay?
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure your on-page factors are dialed in. You need to establish a standard across your website. So you need to have conventions, and you need to identify in a hierarchical scale the importance of those keywords. So, for example, every website should have 1 primary keyword phrase. And through your on-page factors, you want to make sure that your convention includes that primary keyword phrase. But as you move down through the architecture of your website, the convention should identify where the other keywords are going to go. So, for example, if you have widget A, widget B, widget C on a large e-commerce website, and your primary keyword phrase is widgets, in that page title, you want to make sure to include your primary keyword phrase widgets, and on that particular product page, you want to make sure it says widget A. Okay, now you're going to have to write your page title in a way so it's not oversaturating oversaturated with meaningless keywords, but you also want to write it in a way that makes sense to the person doing a search on Google, so it doesn't look spammy. And maybe you want to brand that particular page title. Now, oh, go ahead, Jim.
I was just saying we got a lot more questions, so just wrap
Okay.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, so it's a pretty complicated thing to do, and I really don't have time to talk about it. But if you reach out to me on Twitter, I can give you some more pointers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to make sure we get all the questions in because people are really asking a lot of questions here. So you've sparked something, that's for sure. Clyde wants to know, how much time do you spend a week to keep all of this stuff going? And I get asked that question a lot too, and I'm sure you get asked it a lot. The truth is, it's a lot of hard work, isn't it?
Yes, and as I said in the very beginning, content is king. Content, I spend more time developing content than anything else I do. I write constantly. I'm constantly writing. Whether it's advanced content, a downloadable cheat sheet, a white paper, or a blog post, I'm always writing. Can never have enough content.
Yeah, it's really true. Content marketing is just really important. And what do you say? I mean, I'll ask you this question: what do you say to people who are like, "Well, I don't like creating content"? I mean, they have to do it. So it's either you have to do it or you have to hire somebody, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't not do it, right?
Right, and that's what people hire our agency to do.
Okay.
We create content all the time.
Yeah, so I mean, so you got to hire somebody like Chad's team, or you got to hire somebody to do it, but you have to be able to create content. Good question here from Harshad. It says, are backlinks from article directories like eZine articles, Article Base, do they add any value? And also, what about hub pages, Squidoo, Blogger, and other free services? So I guess the preface to that question is, in the last 2 months, we had the Google Panda update, or the Farmer update, or whatever you want to call it, that devalued those types of websites. Do those links still mean as much?
No, they don't mean as much, but they're still links. Ultimately, when you're producing good quality content, it's naturally going to be shared across websites like that. And those links do matter. We don't know Google's algorithm exactly, so I can't tell you that it's 1/3 of this particular link. But the point is, all links matter. It's just to what extent, I can't tell you 100%, but I'll take those links any day of the week.
Yeah, I think, what everyone is always trying to get at is, well, which ones should I just worry about and which ones shouldn't I worry about? And I think what I'm hearing you say is, look, Google's not letting us know, so just do them all, right?
Well, yeah, but naturally, these links are going to occur anyways. Okay. If you're creating quality content.
All right. So let's see. Courtney says, can you use purchased content in addition to creating content? Yeah, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'd stay away from content that could be on 10, 12 different websites. Then you can run into duplicate content issues.
Claude asks a question that I get asked a lot as well, which is, what about spinning content to give it variety and a different tone to different sites? Is that okay, or is it spamming? And what I think Claude means is, taking an article and rewriting the first 2 paragraphs or changing the headline. Where's the line here, Chad?
Well, I've actually done some experiments for years where I've taken a website and made 3 versions of it, where all the content was identical with the exception of the name of the city in the content, because they were geo-targeted microsites. And what I found was that I didn't get punished at all for duplicate content, and that those websites were actually, they were relevant for the geo-targeted location, even though the content was the same. They were specific to cities. So in that regard, Google gave me not just a pass, but they ranked the heck out of those microsites. Shot up to number 2, number 3, number 1 on Google for those geo-targeted search phrases. Now, when it comes to an article, like a blog article, that's going to be your call. If you rewrite it in a way that adds value or solves additional problems, that's good. But if you change a couple words out of it and you're not adding value, then Google isn't going. That's not going to follow Google's logic and their lines that they provide us, their guidance.
Right, and then follows up. Somebody just asked, "Where do article spinners fit in?" And isn't it that exactly what they do? What's an article spinner?
Well, I guess it's somebody that you'd hire to take articles and rewrite them.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with those tactics or those services. So
let me ask you this question, Chad, and keep the questions coming. If we don't have any more questions, we'll wrap up. But it seems like a lot of people, and I'm not saying the people here in this webinar, but I teach classes online. I deal with this a lot. I speak to a lot of people who are new to search, and it seems like a lot of people are looking for the magic button, right? They're looking for, how do I do the least amount of work as possible to get high search engine rankings? And I just want to hear your answer to that.
Well, there is a magic button, and that's content.
Okay.
Lots of content. Here's the thing. When you commit to content, lots of good things are going to happen to you. And not just these natural backlinks being built, but there's going to be conversations about your brand in social media. People online are going to get to know you better because you have such good content you're pushing out there. What you're going to find over time is that your branded searches are going to double, triple, quadruple. So searches for your company name will naturally go up with those searches for what you do, your primary keyword phrase. It all goes up. So the magic pill is really content. It's content.
It really is, and people got to find a way to make that content. You really do. I did miss one here from Mark, and it said, if you have offers from merchants in other areas, how do I handle their local listings? So I guess he's coming from an affiliate perspective about trying to optimize locally.
Generally, a local optimization is easier. But keep this in mind. Google, here in the last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, they rolled out their new Google Local in the SERPs, in the search engine results page. And when you do a geo-targeted search, you'll notice there'll be a little red thumbtack. And they mix those throughout the regular organic searches. So as a result, the local search algorithm is different than the standard search algorithm. So one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is to make sure they have a Google local account and that those primary, secondary, and tertiary keyword phrases are in that profile, and that you invest $300 in localese.com. I'm not an affiliate of them, by the way. I just really like their service. But if you invest that and get in their directory, that's going to be a very, very powerful signal to Google for local search. Also, LinkedIn. Set up a company LinkedIn account and make sure you have employees linking to it. That's another very powerful search social signal for Google and Bing.
All right, keep the questions coming. I've only got one left, so here's your last chance to ask it if you have a question for Chad. This one's kind of interesting, Chad, and I don't have the answer to this. It's from Clyde. He says, are smartphones changing the way or what you do to optimize the experience on an iPhone or Droid? For many young people, their cell phone is their connection. Now, I have an iPhone, and when I do a search, it just comes up through, through a Safari browser. It's just like searching Google regular. Is that the same as what's happening on the website through a PC?
Well, I'm a bad person to ask, and the reason I'm a bad person to ask is because I'm in this business, so I make sure I turn off every possible customization that exists on any search engine when I use it, because I want the purest result that I can get. because in today's age, Google's looking at so many different things. They're not only looking at your search habits and how you're searching. Google's also looking at the people connected on your network, the people in your neighborhood, your neighbors. They're looking at their search habits as well to figure that out. So a cell phone is probably, my guess is, and I don't know this 100%, but my guess is that they probably have some type of just a slight adjustment in their algorithm for mobile users, because where that cell phone tower is going to matter to Google as well. And how they work that in their algorithm, I do not know, and I wish I had the answer, but my guess is we're going to be seeing more and more of this here in the near future. So keep an eye out.
I wish I had the answer as well, too, because then we could make lots of money. Last question, and then we're going to wrap it up, from Maureen. She says, what are your thoughts on building links to a new industry-specific magazine? And she didn't give the niche there, but what would your thoughts be on starting out that link building?
Okay. Here's something I didn't talk about, but you can have a contest, sweepstake, or giveaway around content. So you can go out and you can say, okay, what I want you to do is write a 250-word article and link it to this page with this anchor text, and submit your link, your article, to the magazine site for a chance to win this, or for a chance to be published.
Let me interrupt. She said the niche is homeschooling.
Okay.
If that helps.
So, well, let me see. Home educators. Okay, so what you want to do is, I would start off with a contest or a sweepstakes. Give them the opportunity to be published on that magazine site. But to do it, they have to do a blog post on their blog with a link, and then email or submit through a form a copy of that article, and then the winner would get published on the magazine site.
Okay, great. All right, I promise you this is the last question, because we really do have to wrap up and everyone needs to get back to work. If I'm marketing a particular product, should I create a blog for that product? And we know what your answer is going to be, but I want to hear it again.
Absolutely. Here's the key. Don't focus on the product. Focus on the problems people have that need to buy your product. It's all about the problems, because you're in the business of solving people's problems. Yes, you sell a product, but what are you really doing? You're solving people's problems with that product. So focus on their problems.
Right, and I don't think there's a better way to wrap up than by saying that, because Chad knows I'm a big fan of solving people's problems. So, Chad, on behalf of the Affiliate Summit, I want to thank you for coming in and doing this really wonderful webinar for us today. And everyone, and how can they connect with you if they want to ask some more questions?
Yeah, feel free to connect with me on Twitter. You can either do a search on Google. You can just type in Chad Pollitt, Pollitt, and you'll get all kinds of social media links you can connect with me on. Or you can go to cpollittiu. That's CPOLLITTIU on Twitter. I love Twitter. I'll follow you back for sure, and we can definitely roll out a conversation.
All right, well, I really, really appreciate having you here. Everybody, there will be a replay. You're probably watching this back on the replay. Check out the Affiliate Summit channel on YouTube. And, of course, we'll see you at the New York show. Chad, thank you once again.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great day, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.